Hey there, you know that shiny new phone in your pocket, the laptop you're probably watching this on? They all have a secret, a hidden life that kicks in the second we decide they're not useful anymore. Today, we're going to pull back the curtain on e-waste, which is, believe it or not, the fastest growing pile of trash on the entire planet. Let's dive in. Okay, let's just start with a number. $55 billion. That's the estimated value of the raw materials, we're talking gold, silver, copper, that Americans alone throw away every single year inside their old electronics. $55 billion, just treated like garbage. Think about that for a second. So that's the real question, isn't it? Where does all this stuff actually go, and why should you even care? I mean, it's so easy to just toss an old phone in a drawer and forget all about it. Out of sight, out of mind, right? But that drawer, it's just the start of a long journey. And where that journey ends has huge consequences for our planet and for us.
All right, so to really get a grip on this problem, we first need to be really clear on what we're talking about. So welcome to what you could call the electronic graveyard.
So what exactly is e-waste? It's pretty simple, really. It's any electronic product that's hit the end of its life. And that covers almost everything we plug in or charge up, not just our phones and laptops, but also the big stuff like your refrigerator or that old TV collecting dust in the basement. You know, the thing is, most of us really don't grasp how serious this is, mainly because the danger is kind of invisible. We might picture these giant, sprawling landfills, but the reality can be much, much closer to home. The contamination could come from a small local workshop taking devices apart the wrong way, or even just from old electronics left in a backyard, slowly breaking down and leaking into the ground. So what happens when all this waste isn't handled properly? Well, to put it bluntly, it begins to poison the world around us. It's like a domino effect, a direct chain reaction. An old device gets dumped. The sun and rain beat down on it, cracking it open. Then all the toxic chemicals inside start to seep out or leach right into the soil. From there, they get into our groundwater, which means they get into our rivers, our lakes, and yeah, eventually into the water that helps grow our food. And what exactly is in this toxic cocktail? Our devices are packed with nasty stuff. We're talking heavy metals and chemicals, things like lead from old-school computer monitors, mercury in our flat-screen TVs, and cadmium for rechargeable batteries. These are incredibly toxic substances that are locked away safely when the device is working, but once it's discarded, it's basically a ticking time bomb. And this is where it gets really personal, because this contamination doesn't just stop at the environment. It's a direct threat to our health. It's literally our own technology turned against our bodies. This quote from the World Health Organization nails it. When e-waste is burned, often to get the valuable copper out, it releases this cloud of tiny poisonous particles. And I mean tiny. They're so small they can sneak right past our body's defenses, get into our bloodstream, and just start causing damage everywhere. So how does this actually play out in the real world? Well, breathing those fumes can damage your lungs. Drinking that contaminated water can lead to kidney and digestive problems. Over time, being exposed to these heavy metals can damage your nervous system and even cause cancer. And what's truly awful is that children are the most vulnerable. For them, it can cause severe, lifelong developmental issues. At this point, you might be wondering, how on earth did we get here? How did we create such a huge problem? Well, the hard truth is, this wasn't an accident. In a lot of ways, this crisis is by design. At the very heart of the issue is this concept called planned obsolescence. It's a business strategy where companies intentionally design products with a limited lifespan. They're literally made to break or become outdated or be nearly impossible to repair, all to force us to buy the next new thing. Just think about this massive shift. We went from a culture where things were built to last for decades. I mean, your grandparents might have appliances that still work, to a culture where things are designed to be replaced every few years. It's a fundamental change that just fuels more and more buying and creates mountains of waste. So how exactly do they do it? Does this sound familiar? You find out that repairing a device costs almost as much as buying a brand new one. Or how about when your phone works perfectly fine, but suddenly it can't get any more security updates? These aren't accidents. They're deliberate tactics, from ending software support to using flimsy parts, all designed to push you towards that next purchase.
Okay, I know this all sounds pretty grim, but this is the most important part, because the story absolutely does not have to end here. We, the people buying this stuff, actually have a ton of power to change this whole cycle.
The solution is a simple but really powerful plan of action. Let's start with the 3 Rs, but in a specific order. The best option, always, is to repair. Before you replace it, try to fix it. Extend its life. If you can't repair it but it still works, move on to reuse. Sell it or donate it and give it a second life. And only when it's well and truly at the end of its road, that's when you recycle. And please, make sure it's with a certified program. And why is proper recycling so critical? Because the value here is just immense. If we recycle just 1 million cell phones, we can get back 75 pounds of gold, over 770 pounds of silver. And just look at the copper. That's more than 35,000 pounds, and that's from just a tiny fraction of the phones we throw out. This isn't just about stopping pollution, it's about urban mining. We're recovering these incredibly valuable resources so we don't have to keep digging destructive new mines all over the world.
So the next time you're holding an old device, remember what it really is. It's not just a piece of junk. It's a collection of valuable resources. It's a potential environmental threat. And most importantly, it represents a choice. A choice to repair, to reuse, or to recycle. A choice to be part of the problem or to be part of the solution. So what will yours be?